Hello. Hello, and welcome to the live stream. Happy Giving Tuesday. This is my first live stream. What do you think? Hello, welcome. What's up, everybody? A little uncomfortable, but just diving right in, doing it anyways. Hopefully, you can hear me and see me okay. This is my kitchen. This is where I've been recording all of the things. This recently I made a video about how I have MS. It's something that I've been dealing with for a long time now, and something that I was really afraid to talk about back when I was at BuzzFeed and also Try Guys. It was and continues to be something that's really tough to deal with, and there's a lot of fear. Hello. Yes. Wow. I know. Brave. Yeah. No, here I am. So let's get these questions going. It's funny. One of the things I did at BuzzFeed was an MS mud run video, and there's a part where someone is asking me. I think it's Eugene actually asked me like, "Oh, so why are you? Who are you running for today?" And I was so scared to talk about it. I'm like, a close personal friend. Yeah, it's a really overwhelming diagnosis because it can come on so suddenly. You can just go from completely able-bodied to the next month, like in a hospital bed where you can't move your legs. And so it was something that I was just so afraid to talk about for so many years. Thank you, kitchen aesthetic. Yes, that's very funny. Yeah, well, well, you can save your confidence compliments until I'm done. Where was I? Yes. So as yeah, really afraid to talk about it. Didn't want to be like seen differently. And when everything went down and I, fucked up my whole life, at part of coming out of that and going to doing the treatment that I was doing, and talking with the counselors, I really realized that there was a lot I was keeping bottled up and compartmentalized, and just having a more authentic relationship with myself and being more comfortable with myself was something that I resolved to do. So when I was planning out some of the content that I've been releasing this fall, I shot most of it this summer and in the spring. This was definitely something that I wanted to tell and a story that I wanted to put out there, and planned it for Thanksgiving. So here we are. Let's see if there's any questions. Somebody update me, please. What's he talking about? I was kind of talking about the MS diagnosis and how I came to make that video. Hopefully you guys checked it out. You liked it. Streaming to end MS, raising money. I should bring up, like, I wonder how much I think we were at 2,000 something. So let's try and make it an even 3. Oh, Jesus, now I'm like echoing myself. I'm such a novice. I'm like living in a 2018 YouTube playbook in a 2025 world. Ugh. How to live stream. Okay. All right. 2,697. All right. Let's pump that up to 3. When did I discover I had MS? It was probably, I think it was February of 2013. And someone said you could have brought it up while you had more of a platform. And yeah, I should have. I would have caused a much bigger impact than, kind of now, but it is what it is. And I think those experiences of having confronting like your own secrets and your own compartmentalization changed how I think about stuff and how I like view myself. Um, has my MS gotten worse? It has been relatively stable. I've had one relapse of like a prickly feeling on my left hand that lasted for about 2 weeks. That was like more than the baseline feelings of kind of just numbness. Um, so I would say it's generally stable, and that I just have to be really cognizant of taking the medicine, because that's like that like prickly feeling. It happened after we got back from Greece, and there was a time when I like didn't like take the medicine for a couple of weeks. So that is what me and my doctor thought it was. Does the weather affect MS symptoms? It's cold in New York right now. Yeah, it when it's really hot or really cold, it can get a bit more like you just feel the numbness a bit more. I know other people complain of it like really happening with heat and exertion. Unfortunately, I'm able to ignore it for the most part. Let's see. Will it affect your offspring? It is something that I think is slightly more something that will like transmit to kids more. But it's not like a for sure thing. What kept you from bringing it up earlier? Why were you so afraid to earlier? It happened so close to me starting at BuzzFeed, and when you start, it was something I was still coming to terms with, because I like that initial episode happened in February, and then I was formally diagnosed in December, and then I started BuzzFeed like late December of 2013. And I think you just like I was afraid to talk about it. I was afraid of it being like something that I would be perceived differently. And I was still coming to terms with it. And then you kind of get used to keeping it private, and it becomes like that much more scary to talk about it. So having a big interruption where you're not posting for 3 years, and then really reassessing what you want to do and how you want to move forward, was something that definitely like affected how I changed. Because I'm just like, well, look, I am who I am. I've did what I did. I'm just moving forward the best I can, and I don't. Maybe it's not so healthy for me to just try to have a tightly, curated image, or be so like conscious about my own um, brand, and just try to have like self-esteem of just I am who I am, and I'm putting out stuff that I like, and hopefully other people like it too. All right. What else? No, this is not the house featured in the AD YouTube vid. Although we do still have that house. Yeah, looking rough. Thank you so much. Oh my God, wow. Yes, I do have a mustache and a bit of a scruff going right now. What made you want to talk about it? Yeah, I mean, it was both taking some time off, realizing that there was a lot of parts of my life that I had kept kind of compartmentalized, and just that wasn't super healthy for me, that I wanted to be more open about it. So it's come up in conversation with friends. Obviously, I've made content about it now, but it's been nice. I mean, I think previously I would have a conversation with a friend, and they would say something that would make me think of MS, and then I like wouldn't talk about it because I'm like, oh. And now I just say like, oh yeah, that makes me think of like I actually have MS. So that's kind of, and then you're often like, oh well, cool. Oh geez, that's what's that like? And then we talk about it. So it's helpful. Have I considered doing something with my chemistry degree? I love chemistry, and I think a lot of the videos that I've been working on, I think, have some like educational and science elements. In terms of me working in a lab, I don't know, that's a bit of a stretch. I haven't done that in several years, but you never know. You never know where life can lead you. But I like making content that like mixes education with comedy and entertainment. I tried to like get a little bit of some of the science of G forces and the jet fighter video, and planning some other stuff like that where there's like a scientific element. Um, would I run a milk mile? What's that? I don't know what that is. That sounds terrible. Is that like you chug milk every mile? I don't know. I mean, sure, why not? Where do I see myself in 5 years? That is a good question, and I'm not sure I really know the answer. I think when you do something that drastically alters the course of your life, it's you, however it happens. It takes time to like rebuild that sense of self. I know I wasn't happy, and so becoming much more in tune with my authentic self has been a positive. But I think I'm still kind of figuring that out. Um, right now, I'm making new content, and I enjoy doing that. I like the type of stuff that I'm making and the people that I'm working with. But whether I'll still be doing that in 5 years, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely still finding a new audience, and I know it'll take time, and it's not like something that's it's tough. There's a lot of the audience that I had before that really hates me, and I get it. It's I probably really upset them, and a lot of other people. But I can't change it, so I'm just moving forward and trying to make stuff that people like. And most of all, I like the stuff that I'm making, and I think it's stuff that I'm proud of, and that's really all you can do at the end of the day. Have I ever been to Europe? Yes, I love Europe. Let's see, I was just in London and Copenhagen. And then over the summer, me, Ariel, and the kids, we went to Greece. We lived in Greece for all of August, which was epic. It's a very cool program called, maybe I shouldn't say the name of the program. And it's basically a program for young families where the kids go to school in a foreign country, and you kind of get all this international experience. London as well. I've always wanted to go to Germany. I've never been to Germany. Yep, Munich, Berlin, but Copenhagen was nice. I'd never been there. Yeah, you've made mistakes. Yeah, that's it. It has helped me learn and grow, and I hope that some of the stories I'm telling on the podcast are helping people. I think that was a big reason why I wanted to do that project, is to just provide a way to like let other people learn and grow from those sort of stories. Some let me know like who you want to see and what sort of stories, because I've definitely like, you can go more more of an actor or a celebrity or personality that tells like more of like a funny rock bottom story that's like not that serious, like something. I think we have Zach Zimmerman coming on, and he tells like a story of being at a really bad like a show that only 3 people came to, and it's like not going well. That's like very different from somebody talking about addiction or trauma, who's maybe less well known. So that's something I would love to know what people like. Who is my favorite podcast guest that I've had so far? Gosh, I mean, there was a reason why I led with the Lara episode. I think she is really inspiring, and I really thought we had a great conversation. I don't know. Everyone's kind of unique. I think I was the most recent one we published was surprisingly engaging, where it's this author that's written about such like crazy things like faking your own death and falling in love with someone in prison. That was like a pleasant surprise. I'd like to hear what was going through your mind when you did what you did to your family. It's a tough question to answer. I think it starts with you being selfish and just doing something because you want to, and it continues because you are delusional and you know hide how much you're actually hurting people with all a manner of rationalizations and justifications. So those that that's how it can what was going through my mind, and I think what goes through a lot of other people's minds that do that. Favorite video I've created in this era. Um, hmm. Well, I'm obviously the most proud of the walking challenge and the MS video because that was like a really meaningful video. Um, I think I don't know. I think I think I like the dating show a lot. I love those sort of dating show concepts. I mean, that's like something I used to do back at BuzzFeed too. Um, and I thought when we were able to like trick someone with the AI, I thought that was I don't know. There's just so many like AI is such a new and kind of wild thing that making content around it is something that I feels interesting. Jessa Reed, meth Pima. Okay, I'll look into that. Have I ever tried making cheesecake with ice cream? Yeah, definitely learned my lesson on that one. That was bad. That was gross. That was probably my most foul creation. It's funny. We like celebrated Finn's birthday and he like wanted like cheesecake, so we had cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory, and I was like, man, you know what? They do good stuff. The Cheesecake Factory, they know what's up. um, how are the poops post noodle video? Yeah, that was. Fortunately, we split it up over 2 days. But they were. It was. Oh, I was so full at the end. Like even just taking little bites, so full, and it can be very salty too. Eggs Benedict cooking challenge. All right. Just to make eggs Benedict. I guess that's pretty good. I'm pretty good at poached eggs. I don't know about you know, I don't know how you make hollandaise sauce. That's a good one. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Rock bottom of plants. Yeah, then Neil deGrasse Tyson would be a great guest. Great guest. How have I found things post return to YouTube? Where am I right now? I'm at my house. This is I don't think I should tell you where I live, but this is my new house. I like it. I got it partially because it looked good on camera, and there you go. Yeah, how have I found things post return to YouTube? It's obviously tough. It's a lot to post through, but I've been working on it for a while, and I like the stuff I'm making, and enjoy putting it out there for people. I don't know. I think it's definitely like taking so much time off. I'm like, oh wow, this is a different media environment. Like, oh, there's a lot more people that watch like shorts and TikToks and reels. It's like, oh my gosh, really? So that's probably something that I need to adjust is to just make more shorts and fewer long form videos. But it's tough because I like making long form videos, but they're probably not super profitable right now. Have I ever been to Wyoming? Don't tell anyone, but we actually do exist. No, never been to Wyoming. I feel like the closest I've come was going to see the eclipse in 2019, or no, that was 2017 in like the middle of nowhere, Oregon. I don't know. Is Wisconsin similar to Oregon? Who knows? More rocky, perhaps. Give me a good recipe to try to cook or bake. Any recommendations? I mean, I think nailing a sourdough loaf is a journey worthy of going on. I know everyone went through their sourdough era in 2020. For me, it was 2018 with like having a child and needing a hobby at home. But yeah, get into the sourdough. That's what I would say. My channel's on a journey that will take time, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think making new stuff and seeing what sticks is like all you can do, right? It's like a journey of experimentation and seeing what resonates with people. I'm like coming up with stuff that I find exciting or satisfying, but don't know what the audience will think. There was a bit of a backlash that you chose to show yourself crying at the end of the MS video. How do you respond to that? Yeah, I did see that, and some of the comments that people were saying were quite frankly like kind of disgusting, and I get it when it comes to the relationship stuff, but like I was filtering comments because I just don't really want that type of negative energy. Um, how do I respond to me crying at the end of it? I cried. I mean, I had been walking for over 20 miles and like delirious, like I'd been my body was like breaking down. And I was telling a really emotional story that's still like anytime I put myself in that place in that hospital room, it like all the fear comes washing back, and it's completely overwhelming. And like I think part of the reason why I didn't talk about it for so long is the only way to deal with the fear was compartmentalizing it for such a long time. Like it's a crazy, it can affect any part of your brain. So you could just wake up one morning and not be able to see, or wake up and not be able to walk. Like it's insane when you think about it. And for me, it was like it happened in the span of weeks to just suddenly not be able to get out of a bed and walk. It's yeah, it's overwhelming, and it did make me cry, and I'm not ashamed of it. I think that's one thing I'm proud of, that it was such an emotional video and such a difficult challenge. I saw some comments that were like, "Oh, haha, he kept his face in frame." He's like, it's like I don't know how to respond to that. Like I was filming myself and I was making a video. Like, of course, I kept my face in frame, but also like I collapsed. It's like we edit them together and they make a storyline from like that whole collapse probably took 45 minutes, right? Like I'm just lying on the ground. And at one point I'm just sort of sitting there sobbing and it's not filmed. And I'm like, oh crap, I need to get a shot of this. So I like set up my camera on a tripod and then I just sit there for a little longer and then finally come up with like an outro, but I didn't really know what to say. Yeah. I lost my train of thought. Okay, I made a comment about Grace that never slept with MS donut. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a lot, but that's why it's taken me like almost 10 years to become more comfortable with it as just part of my life, because keeping things bottled up and compartmentalized, whether it's something about your relationship or something about your health, like it's just not healthy. It's gonna explode somehow in some way or another. It certainly did for me. But yeah, that's how I'm trying to live life differently, I guess. One of the many ways. All right. Favorite fast food establishment. Let's get back to the fun questions. Favorite fast food establishment. I really like In-N-Out. I don't know if that counts, but that's like my go-to road trip. Although they recently built a Chick-fil-A near our house, and that has been fun. Although I think the Shake Shack chicken sandwich is better. Out of like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, that sort of stuff, I guess I prefer McDonald's, but I don't really go to either of those three that much. Yeah, but In-N-Out for sure. Love In-N-Out. I'll go out of my way for In-N-Out. The Northern Lights and Bighorn Mountains are incredible. Oh, that sounds nice. Someone who shops at Trader Joe's, the grocery store. That's that the parking lot is a little crazy here in Los Angeles, so I do tend to avoid it. But they have some good stuff. What's my least favorite food if this food is your least favorite? Um, I I eat almost. I mean, I eat everything. I do have a few preferences. I don't love coconut that much. I don't love scallops that much. Um, yeah, that's about it. I've had a long relationship with salads. I now finally kind of enjoy salads, but it has to be good dressing. Um, I do need some mountain time. You know, I have a surviving in the wilderness video in post production right now, where I brought back Mr. Thomas Coyne, the survival expert, and actually, you know, actually slept on the ground like for real this time. So I'm excited about that. All right. Many bits still here cheering for you and understand the human condition. Yeah, I think I appreciate that. It's e- everyone goes through hard times, and many of them are of our own making. And the human condition is just continuing to move on. What makes you push through the hate? Um, Well, I think there's part of being a creator that you just want to tell stories, and you know when you put yourself out there that some people are going to like it, some people aren't. It's obviously hard, like having a lot of people not like it and it be about me and choices that I made. But you know, I think I'm able to do it now, or I'm choosing to do it now because I've like done the work internally and in my like relationship with Ariel, and just basically feel good about all that, even though people hated our podcast. Although I, you know, seeing the clips, I was like, oh well, that looks pretty bad if you're now just seeing this like cold first time in 3 years. Anyways, the point is, I think I feel a lot more comfortable with myself and with how I've like approach things, to just be able to put that out there into the world. Do I regret including my children or family in earlier content? Will we ever be seeing family in content again? No, I don't intend to put my family or any like relationship in content. Do I regret it? I don't know. I mean, it it was a time in my life that I was really happy and joyful and wanting to tell those stories. I think over as time went on, it became more like a brand, or more of like, oh, it has to be this way because you're this thing, and that maybe I didn't like. And there were, as the kids got older, it became like, that's why we stopped doing baby steps. By the way, it was like privacy reasons. Like we realized that we were just, it started to feel less good to tell some of these like embarrassing stories. Um, and we decided to not do it. So I think some of that stuff was bubbling. Do we have Jimmy John's? Yes, love Jimmy John's. Did I find God? I that is yeah. I think my relationship with God, which has always been sort of there and off and on, deepened, and part of kind of coming to terms with your own sense of, like coming to terms with your own like reprehensible actions, and part of how you are finding your own sense of forgiveness is certainly has a spiritual component to it. That's probably like dodging the question, but it's complicated for me and God. We're there. We're there, but sometimes when I eat a coconut scallop salad with no dressing. I love how I go from a really deep answer to just, just like the silliest. No, that sounds like my nightmare. I should visit. I do love Spain. I'm going next August for the eclipse. How do I approach all the negativity from the tabloids, and what is my strategy to flip their beliefs and get them on Team Nasty Ned? I don't know, man. I don't know. It is what it is. I am who I am. I'm making the best videos I can, and I get that not everyone's gonna like it. Team Nasty Ned. I did really enjoy doing that wrestling video. No matter what people say, that was fun. It's funny. We were just in Mexico City and we saw like a luchador match, right? Because that's what you do. And Wes was like, "Oh, Dad, you should get up there and like show them your moves." I'm like, I don't think they want me to do that. It's cute though. Favorite sandwich spot? How are the delis in California? There's one on the west side called Bay Cities that does like a really crispy like Italian sub. I like all the Italian sub places. There's one in Glendale that's pretty good. Mario's, I believe. And since your team is probably smaller, are you more hands-on with editing, titling, thumbnails, etc.? Yeah. Yes. I've been editing all the podcast episodes myself, publishing all myself, doing thumbnails myself. It's definitely a grindy part of the job, but fortunately with BuzzFeed, we have all the skills of doing everything. The editorial videos, those I have editors for. That would be a bit more time consuming. I feel like people were fascinated by the podcast, even if they hated it. It certainly was interesting. Well, that's good. I mean, that was kind of the reaction that we were hoping for, is just to try to have this authentic look at what it's like to co-parent and deal with the aftermath of, the super public betrayal. My super public betrayal. I can understand that you kind of got pinned into a role. Yeah, it's something that I did consciously and profited off of course. But then there's a time, it's kind of this dance where you're, I remember a brand being like, "Hey, we really need to have your kids play with this toy." And I'm like, what is my life right now? Why is this? And so you feel like that's all you can do. My cooking video was also a survival video. Yes, that is true. Always is. Reaching out to some of the tabloid people and lining up interviews with their following to help reshape my image with them. Sure. I mean, if you got suggestions, I'm an open book at this point. I don't know. It's funny. I saw some diss video that somebody did the other day, and they at the end they jokingly asked to collab with me. I was like, don't joke. I might just take you up on it. Super salad as an appetizer. Depends on the soup, but typically salad. Do I judge family vloggers more or less now with all your experience? I don't know. I mean, everyone's got to make a living somehow. I think I certainly understand there's this public versus private component where it's I think that's one of the hardest things is when you're doing that kind of putting a relationship out there. A lot of what you are making it there's a performance to it, and then if you're performing the whole time, where's the space for your actual relationship to develop? I in 2021 we had this book tour for the cookbook, and it was all day we'd be smiling, taking photos, and being all cute, and then at night we wouldn't have the same. I don't know. It's just it's almost like a facade you're putting up, I guess. Maybe other people don't do it that way, but I think a lot of people do it that way. In social media, a lot of stuff is presentational. Or maybe I just am not great at not thinking of it that way. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure everyone thinks about it pretty heavily in terms of, oh, is this on my brand or off my brand? Or, oh, how am I captioning this? How am I packaging this? Or it's what sort of, it's like it's pretty manufactured. Um, I don't know. What is MS? MS is multiple sclerosis. It's a autoimmune disease where your body attacks the insulation in your brains. If you think of your nerves and your nervous system as like electric wires with insulation, that insulation is called myelin sheaths, and for whatever reason, your body starts attacking that insulation like little rats. Um, and that's why it is so scary, because if it can attack anywhere in your brain, that means it can affect anything that your brain does, which is everything. Showing an idealized version of your life because you want to be a pop star. Yeah, exactly. And I think people want that. They want to have something to aspire to, and you want that too. You want to put the best foot forward. I think for me, I wanted to be I was so afraid of so afraid of conflict, so afraid of not being liked or not being perceived um, poorly, even in my own like closest relationships. That you know just leads to compartmentalization, which part of the reason why I didn't talk about MS. What are your thoughts on the Shanky Baba situation? I don't know what that is. Shanky Baba. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Gonna have to explain it to me. What do I like to do when I'm not doing YouTube things? Well, I love playing soccer. I have a group. I've been with the same team for about 10 years. Actually, just hosted them for I made a 13-pound barbecue brisket for my team, and we had our end of season awards. I love Magic the Gathering. I have a group that I play with, and we actually went to MagicCon this year. And then I'm really involved in the kids' school stuff. There's lots of committees and different events that they have throughout the year. And then I try to take care of my health. I like going to the gym. I still go to like a box fitness gym. Walk around. Hello from Greece. I don't get why Americans overreacted about a bad life choice of yours. It's your life after all. I think there are more serious issues than roasting or cyberbullying. Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, I get why people reacted the way they did, but I also know that it is something that a lot of people confront, and a lot of people's lives evolve in different ways. Breakups, marriages. I don't know. I feel like that was a bad answer, but I don't really know what to say about it because I don't know. People are entitled to react the way they wanted to. It wasn't just about cheating. It was also about a relationship with an employee. It wasn't just anyone cheating. It was someone that like represented themselves as a wife guy, and it was like a big story because it was a well-known cast breaking up, and it wasn't just me and my own. It was like me like kind of getting ousted from. I don't know. It's like that would be news even if there wasn't any scandal attached to it. So those are some of the reasons why people reacted the way they did. But I don't know. Is it fair? Doesn't matter. Past that. Do I have any holiday videos planned? Not really. I guess because I filmed most of it over this summer. There's not so much holiday. I kind of was saving some of the cooking stuff for holiday. Do I have any thoughts about highlighting other people with MS on your channel? Yeah, I would love to. That sounds like a great idea. I really enjoyed collaborating with the National MS Society. They were very generous in providing Dr. Bebo and some of the other resources that they were doing behind the scenes. Was I ever tempted to dust off my chemistry degree and join like a physical chemistry lab or apply to med school? Maybe. You know what I actually thought about doing? I thought about going to culinary school. Like in 2023, I was like, maybe I should just, like, I love cooking. Maybe I should just really learn what to do and then just be in restaurants. I mean, that's something that's a huge passion of mine. That's something I like to do when I'm not doing YouTube, is just go try out new restaurants. You know, I was like sit at the chef's table by myself and just watch them and talk to them. So who knows? Maybe. How did I get into Yale? Do you have any tips? Yeah, I don't know. You have to work really hard at school and also do a bunch of extracurriculars. I don't get it. I mean, kids are very, very, like, it's probably a lot of pressure these days. So, most people need to look inside themselves before persecuting anyone knows righteous. Yeah. That those without sin cast the first stone. It's true. But you know, it's the internet. There's infinite choices of who you could watch, and so I don't know. And the internet loves nothing more than a righteous piling on. What's something small that made me smile recently? Well, this morning at the other place, our floors are being redone, so we're like in a temporary Airbnb. So it's a lot of new type of experiences. Not redone in the fun way, redone in the water damage way. It sucks. But anyways, Finn this morning was just, I don't know, just doing a silly little dance in front of a decorative mirror, and I don't know, just sometimes I like wondering what's the inside world of my children is like. Glad to see you back doing what you love. Thanks. Me too. See you doing culinary school. Yeah, I mean, thought about it. Still might. Becoming a judge at a dog show. Oh, I actually know. So I did. That's something that's in post production too. It's a Westminster dog show video. I collaborated with a Westminster dog show expert, like someone that had actually trained the dogs and like toured them. It's a dog agility training. Took my dog Bean to do it because I didn't really talk about it, but he like went through a really horrible dog bite the other year. Passion for food, yet can't cook pasta. Yeah, very funny. You know, you try doing it. Time pressure. Yeah, no, you know what? I made two big errors. Obviously, putting too much ghost pepper. That's sort of like towing the line between entertainment and actually a good choice. But I tried to make it a good choice. The other one was like the cheese. Like, I totally did not do that sauce correctly. And like, I thought you had to like mix the cheese in beforehand. Apparently, you just put the hot pasta on the cheese wheel, and that is how it gets made. My pasta, the actual texture was fine. That was great. But I also I salted my water and then salted the sauce, so I think it was just too salty overall. Am I less of a hater now that you have a lot of haters? And do you find yourself to be less judgmental, or is that something you still deal with like everyone else? No, I think no. I think like I have now been in so many rooms with people who have been confronting really horrible things that they've done and things that they're not proud of, and you can't not help but have empathy in those situations. And when you're hearing those stories and sharing your own story and kind of talking about it, you do build a sense of less like judgment. And I think everyone's on their own journey, and it's like I made choices that hurt a lot of people, and I've had to come to terms with that and try to move forward the best way I can. It certainly has made me less judgmental of other people. I think I'm a lot less like full of myself and my own, It's just very, I think when you are suddenly very rich and famous, it's very easy to just sort of not think about people that much and really only think about yourself. And confronting your own like terrible choices and hearing how other people have overcome their own journeys, whether it's addiction, alcoholism, or traumas, eating disorders. I mean, any sort of, there's a lot that people go through, and it's just made me a lot more. I don't know. I think I say curiosity and empathy too much like buzzwords because it's like, you know, this sort of guiding like vision or theme for my work. But it is true. It's like I think it's made me a lot more understanding and empathetic of the challenges that other people might be going through in a way that I wasn't before. Oh man. Really curious what's making you stick to similar content. You know, it's funny. I think I'm getting criticized for that, but it's sort of like it's like my experience. It's like what I like doing. You know, unscripted nonfiction stuff. I like mixing education with entertainment. I'm trying not to make it too similar. I'm trying to make it, you know, new choices and new formats. So I think that the kind of challenge based content is I don't know. You write what you know, I guess. But why I chose to make it a variety show was mostly because I didn't know what people would connect with. At first, I was like, oh, maybe I should just make a science channel or just make a cooking channel or do more like technology stuff. But then I was like, you know what? I don't know what people are gonna enjoy or not, or if people are gonna enjoy any of it. So maybe I should just try a bunch of different stuff, see what seems to work, and then just zero in on that. That was my plan. So why the vocal fry? I don't what it. I'm not sure what vocal fry. I no, I should. Vocal fry is when someone's voice is like this, right? First of all, it's okay. Low frequency, creaky sound produced in the vocal register when the vocal cords are loosely. What is it talking about? Okay, so vocal fry is like when you're talking like this. No, it's probably because I'm deeply ashamed and guilty and have trouble talking about my choices and actions. It's it, it's yeah. Maybe that's not what people want, but that's where I'm at right now, and yeah, I'll work on it. I guess do more vocal warm ups. um, this Q&A has felt more authentic than the planned out videos. Well, that's good. Gonna see traveling vlogs. Gonna visit Greece. I thought about doing some stuff in Greece, but I decided I wanted to keep it more of a vacation because I knew, like, I filmed the podcast in July, knew we had this trip in August, and I was just like, well, if I'm gonna go live in September, I kind of want to have this, you know, last period of time before, you know, I release a shitstorm of whatever it's gonna be. He talks like Squidward because that's his natural voice. Come on, guys. Hilarious. Very funny. Okay, I'll do one more and then I gotta go. What's your go-to comfort movie or meal? Oh, I will always rewatch Star Wars anytime I'm sick. It's very comforting to me. Meal. It's probably like a pasta bolognese type of thing. Yeah, probably just pasta with red sauce. I love tomatoes. I love anything savory. All right. Let's see how we did on the goal. All right. Nobody donated. I guess I didn't talk about it that much. All right. Anyone here listening? A few of you still here. Let's pump these numbers up. Here, I'll donate. 2697. All right. I'm going to donate $200. Everyone else listening, donate $5 or not. Oh, is it going to show my credit card on screen? No. Okay, no, I'm not screen sharing. All right. There we go. Man of my word. Now we're at 2897. Due to this scandal, you've lost the support of your liberal fans. There's talk that you'll move your content more politically right to try and get a new fan base. Is there any truth to this? I'm not that interested in doing political stuff just in general. But yeah, I'm certainly in a process of trying to discover a new audience. But I don't think there'll be anything political to it. I think it'll just be people that are more interested in the sort of, I don't know. I've tried to do stuff that's a bit more like extreme, like flying a plane or wrestling, and so maybe people that are more into that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Which Star Wars? Yes, the OG trilogy. OG trilogy. All right. The I really gotta go. Okay, 7. I can do 7 more minutes. I'll answer the next question if somebody makes a donation. Everyone's like, no, I just want the tea. Don't even know what the National Multiple Sclerosis Society is. How are your feet? Okay. Thank you. I'm flattered. All right. I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks, guys. See you later. Appreciate it. What? How much raised? We are almost at 3,000.